there, everybody. This is Kristin from Teaching Balance, and I'm here with you with this week's mindfulness meditation practice. And we are wrapping up the month focused on letting go. And when we talk about letting go, we talk about like setting things down for a while, the sort of like metaphorical things in our lives that are burdens to some degree, knowing you can always go back and pick them up again. We talked a little bit about this idea of letting go of the school year and how that might look for you, and letting go of the pressure you might put on yourself to just crush summer or something akin to that. And so for this last one, because we're phasing into this transition of rest and relaxation in the month of June, I thought it would be nice just to talk a little bit about the idea of downshifting. And I've talked about this in our videos before, but essentially what I often find at the end of the school year is I tend to get a little almost unmoored, for lack of a better word, where it's such an abrupt change. Like, I feel like for me, at least at the secondary level, it's always like graduation and then boom, it's over and you don't see people again. And it's just like kind of weird. So I have found that knowing that's coming and anticipating it, and also thinking about like the first week or so after school gets out and how I might be able to support myself with, and however you want to describe it, but basically what works best for me regarding downshifting into the summer. Another example is, I went to a retreat for educators as a facilitator, got up there a day early, and I remember I was still in that kind of hopped up, everyday, busy vibe, and I'm just like, what should I do? Should I go to the gift shop? Should I take a hike? Should I do this? And it's just like, well, maybe you should just stop trying to do the things all the time nonstop, and maybe just sit, let your dust settle, and then decide maybe what do you want to do, and have it be spontaneous. But it's not about maximizing the afternoon or things like that, or jamming it all in like we do, because of course we're so overscheduled with all the things that we have to do with our work and our lives too. So I think you get the gist of it. The idea is just knowing that when you transition into summer, there really is a form of downshifting that needs to occur, where you go from 1,000 miles an hour to less than that, in whatever way that feels right to you. And also having that downshifting be paced in whatever way is right to you, and not expecting it to necessarily happen all at once. You don't go from the Friday, the last day of school, blah, 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 crazy, to like, the Monday, the first day without school, where you're completely relaxed and in a completely different frame of mind. Maybe you are, but knowing that doesn't necessarily happen for everybody all the time. So thinking about, what does downshifting mean to you? What can you do to support that based on your experiences in the past? And just making some perhaps plans to support that. But if nothing else, maybe it's more about not making plans as a way of supporting that. So I do have a plan, however, for the next 10 minutes, and that is our meditation practice. Remember what I referenced a couple of moments ago, which is sometimes when you're like thinking, frozen and don't know what to do because there's just too many options, too many thoughts, just a micro sit will be, I think very powerful for letting your metaphorical dust to settle, like the snow in the snow globe, so you can see more clearly when it's not shaken up and agitated. So maybe bring a little bit of the spirit of that to our sit today. All right, 10 minutes. I always invite you to begin as you settle into your seat, whether you're upright or even laying down, closing the eyes or just lowering the gaze if that's your preference, and allowing yourself to take a few long, slow, deep breaths. It's a way to signal to your body and your mind that we are transitioning into a different way of being, which of course has a physiological impact and allows us to perhaps even more fluidly settle into this meditative moment. And remembering also, particularly if you're finding your mind is especially racy, all over the place, zipping around, knowing you can always bring back that few deep breaths as a way to re-ground yourself. And I know we often talk about resting your attention on the breath, which is fantastic, classic. Resting your attention on the body or sounds, but if this idea of settling and grounding yourself is appealing to you, another spin on that is to focus your attention on wherever you're making contact with your seat, the chair, the cushion, the bed, all those points of contact between your body and whatever surface is supporting you. Really get curious about how that feels. And if you want to take it a step further, you can even allow your awareness to be drawn downward through the pelvic floor or the back, and allowing your awareness just to be drawn down, all the way down into the earth. And allowing yourself to feel that energetic connection. You could think of it as a beam of light, a cord or tether down into the supportive earth. You could also think of it as energetic roots, like the roots of a tree, growing downward. Just like the tree has the support of its root system and that of the earth, allowing yourself to feel grounded, connected, and perhaps even nourished by whatever form of connection you feel like you might have to the earth beneath you. find your mind has wandered off into thought, you know that's not a problem. Just bringing it back very gently. And if this idea of grounding into the earth is working for you and appeals to you, then bring your attention back to that quality of being rooted, connected, and grounded. For these final few moments, allow yourself just to ground even further, connect, and allow yourself to feel the support, the holding, and the grounding until you hear that final bell. Okay, so that was our 10 minutes. Happy end of the school year for I think almost all of you, but not necessarily everybody. And if you're almost there, warm wishes for a smooth and painless conclusion. And as always, thank you so much for taking this time for yourself, and thank you for allowing me to accompany you on this journey. And I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.